Hi and welcome. My name's Tolan and I'm the co-founder of Productivity Me. In this video, we're going to look at the page layout. More specifically, we'll look at items of the page layout such as size, orientation, and margins. So with that, let's get started. If you want to follow along, go ahead and download exercise file 12.02. You can find a link to download this file in the description portion or the description of this video. All right, so if you want to go to page layout, on most Excel interfaces, it would be the third tab. So we come over here, go to page layout, and then we're going to focus on the page setup. So in this video, we'll look at margins, orientation, and size. In later videos, we'll look at the print area, as well as print breaks and print tiles. So you can get to many of these options by going to the File menu and then going to Print. And here too, you'll have things like the margins, the orientation, and different elements. But a kind of a more interesting way to be able to see that live in action would be to come here and go to the margins, and then you can select narrow margins, which I'd often do. Now, orientation is going to allow you a different set of views, and one thing that we'll discuss later in this section, but can be useful now, is to actually go to what's called the page break view. So if you go to the page break view, this is going to show you the individual pages and how they would print. So currently looks as though we would have 6 pages printed, and you can see that these columns don't fit on our individual page. Now, if we were to change it say from portrait orientation, where we have the long side vertical, to landscape orientation, where we have the long side horizontal, we may be able to fit all the columns on one page, and depending on how much information you have, it may actually be able to fit now on 5 pages rather than 6 pages. So changing the orientation can be quite useful. Now, if you then start to think about the size of the paper, this is often dictated either on your region, such as in the US, we often will default to using letter size paper of 8.5 by 11 inches. I know other countries might use something like A3, A4, A2. You can also think about specific legal sizes or executive sizes, even tabloid or larger sizes. So this would kind of really depend on your own needs and as well as the printer that you have available. So again, if you wanted to change any of these, so say that we were working with a landscape orientation and narrow margins, and then we went to print. Once we are in the print menu, you kind of get to see what that looks like, but you could always change it internally in using the print menu settings. So you could say, go here, and I want it actually to be portrait landscape or portrait orientation, and then I want it to have wide margins. That too would be possible. Then when we're going to go print, let's say that we want to print it, it's going to create a PDF, save it on our desktop. So we're creating a PDF because that's the default setting of printing. But the thing that we want to demonstrate is now those changes have been applied back to our document. So even after we're printing, it's now back to wide margins and portrait orientation. So if you make a change within the print menu here, that would then be applied to your regular document. So there's 2 ways to change the margin. Well, there are more than 2 ways to change margin, but the 2 more common ways are 1 in the print preview, or 2 here on the page layout tab. You could change your margins, or you can change your orientation as well as the paper size. So that's that. In our next video, we're going to go ahead and discuss the idea of using headers and footers within Microsoft Excel and how you might think about using them to do some pretty cool things, like show the file path or to show the page number for the different pages that you might print. So I will see you again soon, and as always, thanks for watching.